Nicole here with Job Hunt Solutions, and in today's video we're going to look at my top tips when attending job fairs. Job fairs are a great way to maximize your exposure to a wide variety and a large number of different potential employers. This is true whether it's attending an on-campus job fair if you're a student, or any of the other job fairs that are available to experienced professionals. When attending a job fair, however, there is a method that I would recommend you use. So here are my top tips for when you're attending a job fair. Number one is to pre-register. Typically when you pre-register for a job fair, you're asked to upload a copy of your resume. This resume would be available to any of the registered job fair attendees, the company attendees that is. Next, take a look at the employers who are registered to attend or to present at these job fairs as well. Make sure that you do your research on these organizations, because even if there's a company you're not too sure about or you're not familiar with, it may be your next potential employer. Be sure to double check this list of employer attendees up to a couple of days before the job fair itself, because new employers may be added to that list up to a couple of days before the job fair. Once you know who the employers are and you've done your research, sort of categorize the employers in maybe A, B, or C employers. So the A list would be those companies that you really want to target, the ones that you're really interested in, or those who have jobs that you would be interested in applying to. Your B list would be, of course, sort of the backups. You might want to, gain a little bit more information and insight or meet the folks at this particular company, but it may not be your top choice of organizations. And the C list are those organizations that you're probably not really all that interested in pursuing, so you can save some valuable time at the job fair, really focusing your efforts on your A and B list companies. In some cases, job fairs will actually have a map and a layout of where all of the different employers' booths are going to be. So you can even map out and strategize the employers that you want to see maybe first thing in the morning and work your way through the job fair accordingly. When attending the job fair itself, make sure that you bring lots of copies of your resume. If you also have the opportunity, you can print up some personalized business cards just with your personal contact information. It just kind of is a neat little polished approach, especially if the organization only accepts electronic resumes. This way, at least, you'll have something that you can drop off to the employer so that they have your contact details at the ready. Make sure as well that when you attend the job fair that you dress for success. Now, keep in mind, you could be on your feet for the whole day walking around a job fair, so make sure that you're comfortable, but still make sure that you're dressed business appropriate. Of course, if this is a career fair for more creative types of roles or creative types of organizations, business attire may not be the most appropriate way to dress for these kinds of job fairs, but for the most part, business attire is preferred. The other thing I would recommend when attending these job fairs is to make sure that you're prepared with great questions to ask these employers. Now, I'm not talking about questions like, what is it that your company does? Because the organization is going to expect that you would have done your research beforehand. But you can ask questions about how successful they found career fairs in the past, the skills or the attributes that they look for in a potential hire, and even what the next steps might be. Finally, be sure that you're aware of your body language. Try not to fidget too much. Make sure you have a good, firm handshake. Not one that's bone crushing and not one that feels like a limp fish, but just practice that if you feel the need to. But body language is definitely going to be key because you're meeting people face to face. Also make sure that you have your elevator pitch ready. I've talked about elevator pitches in the past. You can check out a previous video right here. But this is really just your 30-second to 60-second soundbite on what makes you you and how you can add value to their organization. And finally, try not to be a time hog. As both a person who's attended job fairs as a candidate and a person who has been a recruiter at job fairs representing an organization, sometimes the most frustrating people to deal with are those who are really asking a barrage of questions and taking up a great deal of time. Not only does this cause a great deal of frustration for the other job fair attendees, but it may not create the best first impression with the employer. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found these tips helpful. If you have any other hints and tips on attending job fairs, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. If you have any questions, video ideas, or would like to collaborate, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach me on email, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever works for you. And of course, for personalized advice, come on over to my website. I'd be happy to help. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and until next time, happy hunting!